back to another episode from Off the Post. In today's video, it's going to be all about starting, benching and selling your favourite players in the Premier League. I don't know how short this video will be, but I'm expecting it will be shorter than usual. So yeah, as always, like, comment and subscribe. The community we're building here is very, very good, and it's so impressive so far. The amount of followers I'm getting, the amount of comments I'm getting, so I do really appreciate everybody's support, so thank you very much. So yeah, I think that's enough housekeeping for now, and let's just get straight into the video. Right, I've got 5 positions and a few players from each position I want to sort of dive into. So the first position I'm going to dive into is the goalkeepers. I've got 3 players in mind here. The three keepers we're going to choose from is David Raya, Alisson and Martinez. Now for me, if I had to choose out the 3, one to start in my team, it might have to be David Raya, especially for this season, because he's got 12 clean sheets in total, and you know, I think Arsenal do have the best defence in the league. When you think about Alisson, of course, he is a world-class keeper, but compared to David Raya this season, I just think he is on another level compared to the Brazilian goalkeeper. And you know, they are second in the league, don't get me wrong, Arsenal. They are, you know, from that sort of sense, you might say Alisson has done a little bit better than David Raya, but for me, I would start Raya, bench Alisson, and then sell Emi Martinez. I'm selling Emi Martinez just because I don't think he's been that great this season compared to the previous seasons. He's letting a few questionable goals, you know, this season, and you got to admit, right, I don't think he's been at his best, especially like on Tuesday against Manchester City. He let in some real questionable goals, and I just think to myself, should he have saved that shot against Bernardo Silva? I feel like he definitely should have. You know, why did he parry it out wide? He should have just catched it instead. But I don't know. It's a bit of an unfortunate goal, I suppose. A bit of an unfortunate example. But yeah, I think that's it for the goalkeepers. Moving over to the right backs in the league, we've got 3 good right backs here: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, and Mazwari from Manchester United. So for me, I think this is a pretty much straightforward one. I would start Trent Alexander-Arnold, bench Reece James, and then sell Mazwari. Now, if I start off with Trent Alexander-Arnold, for me, I think he's the best right back in the league. You know, there's always question marks around his defensive ability, but what he's going to offer you going forward is way better than everybody else in that position. He's got the most assists from a fullback, I think, pretty much ever in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure that's correct. You know, he's a world-class right back. He can do pretty much everything going forward. He's basically David Beckham in a right back position. And then if you compare him to Reece James in that sort of bench role, in that right back role, that I've sort of benched Reece James, because for me, he's a good player on his day, but when is his day? That's the only problem. He's never fit. He's never consistent enough. Everybody says Reece James is so highly rated, but he's just never fit. So for me, I feel like he's slightly overrated, Reece James. I feel like he is, because he don't get me wrong, he's a bit harsh on him, because you can't really control him getting injured all the time. But at the same time, is he that good? I don't know. I feel like he is, obviously, but I feel like Trent is a level above him, to be honest with you guys. Okay, I've put Mazwari in there, and I'm going to sell him just because I actually do think he's had a very good season for Manchester United. You know, they definitely needed a right back, and he's definitely improved their team. Under Ruben Amorim, he probably has been one of the better Manchester United players out there. Top 3 at least for me, I would say. You know, going forward again, he's got a good delivery. He can run past 2 or 3 players on that right hand side. I think defensively he's okay. He probably could get better. You know, Manchester United have conceded a few goals here and there, and that's probably why they are so low in the league. I think overall Mazwari is probably the better defenders in that Manchester United defence, and I don't think they need to worry about him for next season. I feel like he can definitely play in that 3-4-3 formation, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like he's a good player. Right, I think we should move over to the CDM position, and I've got 3 players in mind. We've got Declan Rice, Ryan Gravenberch, and Moises Caicedo. For me, all these 3 are fantastic. They're one of the best players in each of their teams. So I think for that reason alone, one player that I'm starting ahead of all these guys is Declan Rice. Now, I agree with Arsenal fans. Declan Rice is worth half the price, okay? Yeah, let me tell you for that for sure. Spending £100 million on Declan Rice seems like an absolute bargain now these days, doesn't it? Honestly, he can do it all. He can defend from the front. He can score goals. He can defend. He can get good tackles in. He's got everything. He can drive through the box. He can score free kicks against Real Madrid if you need him to. You know, Declan Rice is a fantastic midfielder in this Premier League, and he's definitely right up there with one of the best. I think for me, that's why I'm starting Declan Rice. Out with the other two, Ryan Gravenberch and Moises Caicedo, I think I'm going to bench Ryan Gravenberch because, you know, he's come into this Liverpool side this year where you didn't really know if he was going to adapt to the league or not, because he sort of came in, I think last season, I'm pretty sure this one last season, he didn't really do that much. He didn't really have a proper role. He didn't have a proper position in that Liverpool side, and he sort of made that CDM position his own this season, and he's made it look so clear. I feel like that's one of the reasons why Liverpool are winning the league. I just think, you know, his sort of playmaking from the CDM position, you know, those long balls across to Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, all these type of players, Jota, for example, it really is a very fantastic midfielder. And, you know, I don't think he's defensively solid, defensively sound. I feel like he definitely can improve in that sort of area. He's not bad at all, I'm not saying that, but I feel like that's one area he can improve upon for next season. And I feel like that's where Liverpool could sort of look to strengthen as well, maybe get one more midfielder in there, because I feel like in certain games this season, they have looked a little bit leggy against like PSG, obviously losing the Champions League, and other teams in the Premier League where, you know, if they had another midfielder in there to rotate between Ryan Gravenberch, McAllister, all these different types of midfielders, maybe they might have a I don't know, better chance, not better chance, but probably done better in the Champions League and other cup competitions. And I've decided to sell Moises Caicedo just because he's another player that Chelsea signed for 100 million, and I don't think he was worth the money, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player on his day. You know, he does throw in some good tackles here and there. He's a good defender, good CDM, sorry. But for me, I don't know if he's worth 100 million. He's a good player, but I might just, I'm sort of on the side where I might think he's slightly overrated again. I know I've said that about Reece James previously in this video, but I don't know. I think for 100 million, you should be doing a little bit more. And he's okay, don't get me wrong, but maybe I don't really watch Chelsea that much, so maybe that's my fault, I don't know. He's a decent player, but I don't know if he's worth the price. But maybe Chelsea fans can let me know in the comments. Was Moises Caicedo worth 100 million? Was he? Do you feel like you've got your money back for him? I'm not too sure. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the right winger positions. Now these three right wingers for me, we've got Mohamed Salah, Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka. Now for me, there is just one player that I'm going to start above the rest, and it has to be Mohamed Salah. This season, he has gone absolutely crazy. Let me read out some of the stats in the Premier League, So, he's got 27 goals, 18 assists in 33 games. That is levels above anybody else in the league. He's got goals, he scores goals galore, doesn't he, Mohamed Salah? And he single-handedly won Liverpool their league. Honestly, you don't even need Darwin Núñez scoring goals. You don't even need Luis Diaz when you've got Mohamed Salah in attack. You know what I'm trying to say? This guy is absolutely crazy. For the last 5-6 years, he's been absolutely mental in the Premier League. He's, I think, by far the best Premier League player at the current moment. Either him or Kevin De Bruyne is right up there as well. But yeah, I think those two are definitely right up there. So for me, that's the reason why I'm starting Mohamed Salah. But the bench, this one's a bit difficult because, you know, there's two players right here I do really like, Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka. But I think if you actually look at the stats, Cole Palmer has had the better season. So for me, that's the reason why I'm benching Cole Palmer, because let's read out some stats from Cole Palmer, okay? Cole Palmer has got 14 goals and 8 assists in 32 games. And when you think about Enzo Maresca's first year in Chelsea, You know, he's sort of switched Palmer's position into more of a central role, and he hasn't had the best season compared to last year at least, because, you know, when he broke out on that right winger position, he came through and scored 40 goals. So for me, I feel like the right winger position is his best position. But even getting 14 goals and 8 assists in that middle of the park, it isn't too bad either, is it? You know, it's got Chelsea to a potential Champions League spot. So he hasn't done too bad this season. I feel like some people might disagree with that fact that I feel like they might choose Bukayo Saka ahead of Cole Palmer. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame you, because Bukayo Saka is the star boy for Arsenal, isn't he? When you think about Bukayo Saka, you know, he absolutely runs the show for Arsenal's attack. He's got 6 goals and 10 assists in 20 games in the Premier League, and that is one of the factors why I've chosen to sell Bukayo Saka, because he's had a massive injury this season, and if we're basing it off this Premier League year, I feel like Palmer's had a better season because he's been more consistent, he's played more games. So, but either way, I do think if I sold Bukayo Saka, you probably get the most value out of the current 3 in that out of Salah, Palmer, and Saka. I think you could probably get more for Saka. But don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player. I'm not saying he can do it all. He can dribble past defenders. He can score goals. He can score goals from out the side the box, inside the box. He missed a few penalties, to be fair, doesn't he? That Panenka he missed against Real Madrid was a little bit embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. But I think he got a little bit too ahead of himself. I swear he had a little conversation with Jude Bellingham, a little bit of a joke around and stuff. But, you know, I feel like Saka, just smash it home and score some goals, you know what I mean? But maybe he can do that next game. Maybe he might know to do that for next time. But these 3 wingers, right wingers, are probably the best in the league at the moment, and it is good to see. I reckon maybe overall, I think in a few years' time, maybe Saka might be the best winger in the league once Salah leaves or gets to move away. I don't know. Obviously, he's staying here for now another 2-3 seasons. He's got a new contract, hasn't he, Mohamed Salah? So I think for the next 2 or 3 years at least, he's going to still be the best winger that the Premier League has seen for a good while. But I think we should move over to our last start, bench, sell option. It's strikers now. So we've got Isak, Chris Wood and Erling Haaland. Now, for me, when you speak about Isak, I think he has been the best striker in the Premier League this year, because he's scored absolutely tons of goals and he's won the Carabao Cup for Newcastle. The first time in like 70 years. You can't deny he has had an incredible year. And that's the reason why I'm starting Isak. When you think about Isak, he's got everything. He's got skills for days. He's got the technical ability. I feel like he's got better technical ability than the other 2. He's got the pace. He's got the dribbling. He's got the shooting. He's got the finishing. He's got a little bit of everything, and that's why he's going to cost 150 million, or he's rumoured to cost 150 million in the summer transfer window. Will he leave Newcastle? I'm not too sure. Maybe Newcastle fans can let me know in the comments. Do you think he's got sort of priced out of a move? Do you think an Arsenal, do you think a Liverpool, a Real Madrid in the future will, come knocking for Isak's service, Isak's signature? I'm not too sure. I feel like, I feel like he has been priced out of a move this year, but it's Newcastle. They're going to make top 4, aren't they? Or top 5, sorry. So they're going to be playing Champions League football next year. So either way, Isak can't be too disappointed, can he? Okay, moving over to bench and sell. For me, this might be a little bit controversial, again, right? But I think I might bench Chris Wood, because if we're basing it off this season, right, okay, Chris Wood has got 19 goals and 3 assists in 31 games. Now, that is crazy. For a Nottingham Forest player to get 19 goals and to be challenging for top Champions League positions places, right, I honestly do think Chris Wood has absolutely been one of the better strikers this season. And those goals sort of back up my point. And for me, he's absolutely gone crazy. And if we're basing it off this season, I think he's had a better year than Erling Haaland. That might be a little bit controversial to say, but I feel like Haaland has sort of missed a few games from injury, whereas Chris Wood has done it consistently week in, week out. I don't want to say single-handedly, because the Nottingham Forest team is a big unit. The team works together really well, but without his 19 goals, they'll be nowhere near the Champions League spots this season. That's why I'm selling Erling Haaland, because I feel like out of the three, you probably would get more resale value, because if, let's say, if Isak's been rumored for 150 million, then Haaland's got to be 200 million plus at least to get him out of Man City. But don't get me wrong, he is the best striker in the league by far. I'm not saying he isn't, but when it comes down to the Isak versus Haaland debate, I feel like I'm choosing Isak ahead of Haaland just because of the play style. When I watch Haaland play football, he doesn't get me off my seat, you know what I mean? He scores goals, but they're mostly tap-ins from the 6-yard box sort of thing. And I don't want to, maybe that might be a little bit harsh for Haaland, but something when you watch like his YouTube compilations, I feel like Isak would have better goals. So, you know, that's just my opinion. Haaland is fantastic, one of the best strikers in the league at the moment, one of the best players in the league at the moment, but I do agree with certain people's opinions where he's sort of robotic in his sort of play style, and for that reason, I'm not going to choose Isak ahead of him. So for me, those are my 5 player positions: start, bench, sell. I really hope you like this video. It's a little bit of a different one from me. This is my first time doing it, so let me know in the comments if you want to see it again. Did you agree with some of my picks? Who would you choose ahead of me? All that sort of good stuff. What do you think about Isak? Do you reckon he'll be leaving in the summer? What do you think about Palmer? Do you reckon, would you have sold Palmer? Do you reckon Bukayo Saka is the star boy for Arsenal? All that sort of good stuff. So thank you for watching. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. I do really enjoy all the support, and you know, it's been amazing so far in my early days on my YouTube channel. So thank you once again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.